Swarf and Chips. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red button below. This is what's coming up on today's show. Now, we've got Anker joining us this week, and we've got two gentlemen with us. One has travelled 2 hours and the other has flown all the way over from Australia. So thank you for joining us.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's a
Thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
How was your flight?
Long, but worth it.
So, which one's from Australia and which one's from Coventry?
I'm not from Coventry either.
No, Redditch.
Redditch.
Yeah,
Redditch.
Redditch. Come on.
Same place.
Right, okay then. For anybody who doesn't know who Anker are, can you just tell everybody who you are and what you do?
So we're an Australian CNC tool and cutter grinder company. We've got offices all around the world. We've got our main manufacturing in Australia, in Melbourne. We've got another manufacturing facility in Thailand. But we also have offices in Shanghai, Germany, Coventry, and also Wixom in the States. And we've got about 1,000 people that work for us worldwide.
Okay, and how old's the company?
The company's 40 years old. Two co-founder members were a gentleman called Pat Boland and Pat McCluskey. They came together to develop two CNC controls for CNC machinery.
And if we fast forward to where we are now, where are you in the marketplace? You're at the upper echelon, you know, you're the big players.
I think per volume, we're the largest manufacturer of tool and cutter grinders in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's your UK presence?
We have a facility in Coventry, showroom. We have application engineers, service engineers, and we're the largest tool and cutter grinder machine tool manufacturer with support in the UK.
And, oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say tool and cutter grinder. I used to run an Anker many moons ago, but can you explain what it is? What do you actually manufacture on one of these machines?
So we manufacture the 5-axis tool and cutter grinders, and what's made on these machines are simple to very complex, mostly drills and end mills used for the manufacturing industry.
Mm-hmm. And you can also manufacture, components as well.
Yeah,
like
we
medical
can.
components.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What success have you had in the UK?
Very good. Last year was particularly good with a huge number of machines. Market is very buoyant. A lot of companies are, whether it's a Brexit thing or not, I don't know, but manufacturing has definitely increased, and a lot of our companies that have our machines are exported across Europe and the rest of the world.
So when you sell a machine, say, for example, talk me through, you say you've got over 1,000 people, but in the UK specifically, post-sales service, what can we get from you from the UK office?
Just genuine after-sales support, right the way through from the moment of an inquiry all the way through to the machine landing on the shop floor. We offer the full package in terms of helping the customer even design a bespoke machine if it's a specialised component, down to if there's a specialised tool they want to grind, we can offer the right solution from that and the right machine package for that.
And how is your range? Obviously, we've talked about the tool and cutter grinder, but how about software and the actual motors to drive these machines?
Yeah, so we do all the software in-house, and we're one of the only manufacturers of tool and cutter grinders that use linear motors on most of our axes. So all of our machines at the moment have linear motors on the X and Y axes. And we also have the TX Linear that's just been released that has linear motors on the X, Y and Z axis. So there are no moving parts.
So as it's a vertically integrated company, how does that benefit the customer? You're thinking, that's
wow,
quite intelligent for you, thanks. How does that benefit everybody? Because if you're making the motors, ultimately that's going to help somewhere along the line.
It does. It makes us very agile because we're able to change any component in the machine the way we want very, very quickly. So we make all the machine components, but we also have a sister company called Anker Motion that makes all the electrical components as well. So we virtually make everything.
Everything. Because I know it's NDS
Yeah,
as well
NDS
that we've been to,
yeah.
and they speak so highly about the software and everything. Oh, there you go, great timing. But they speak really highly. They're saying how easy the machines are to be able to use, and they are really praising, especially the linear motor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, for them to say that is brilliant. That's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah, they were a big Anker user anyway. They had some of the old technology with ball screws and decided to go into to buy new technology, and the surface finish and quality of the tools coming off the FX7 that they bought was superior.
Yeah, I actually shot this video. and he loves the machine. The surface finish, the automation. I can't remember his exact comments, but it's basically wish all his machines had this level of automation. He wouldn't need to be there. You know, it's it's so quick to program. You can put up 200-300 tools in the carousel, and your job's done for probably the rest of the day.
Yeah. So one of the big drivers for Anchor at the moment is to increase the customer experience by increasing the level of automation in our machines. So wherever possible, we try and cram as much automation in to keep the machine uptime.
That's going forward anyway. Mac a couple of weeks ago, I don't know how long it was ago now, but so much of a push is on automation and people making the most and being more efficient, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I know we had a chat at Mac, so let's take a look.
MTD on location.
Thanks, Lindsay. Adrian, we're here at MAC 2018. What new technology are you showcasing?
This year we're showcasing the MX7 Linear. It's a fully automated tool and cutter grinder. It has robot loading, an RFID feature, which means that we can input all the tool data into a chip. The machine recognises the chip. All that information then gets pulled through to the computer. And it becomes completely unmanned. It has an in-process measuring device called the Laser Plus, and that will measure all the tool features and correct the machine if necessary.
And in regards to measurement, if you didn't have the measurement system in the machine, how would you measure the tools?
Yeah, well, we work quite closely with Zolla, and they have a communication between the Zolla equipment and the anchors. So again, if there isn't a Laser Plus or any measurement system on the anchor machine, we can communicate any errors. That gets fed back to the anchor, and any corrections are then adjusted within the machine, and you get the perfect tool at the end.
Well, I'm going to find out a little bit more about this. Zolla are just across the road there. I'm going to go and have a word with William. Thanks, Adrian.
No worries.
Hi, William. I've just been on the anchor stand with Adrian, and he's informed me that your Zolla machines can communicate with the anchor machines.
That's correct, yeah. So essentially here on the Zolla side, all we need to do here is load the file exported from the Anchor machine, like this. This is then loaded into our interface with Anchor. Inside the interface, I can actually ask this now to check exactly which features I want to check. So here, I can select here simply just by ticking the boxes. Once I'm happy with the parameters that I've selected here, I just press F5 here to start the cycle. The first thing that the Zolla will do here is actually find the tool itself. So it's independent now at what height this tool has been put in. It's going to find the top of the tool. It's now going to focus on the cutting edge itself. And then what it starts to do is measure all of the features that we've asked the Zolla now to measure. Once it's finished measuring all of these features, it's now going to give me a report to say whether these features have passed or failed. And it actually outputs now the difference between what we've measured here and the actual nominal values that we have set for this tool. This file is then exported back to the Anchor machine, and the Anchor machine can then compensate for any differences that we see in the process.
So it's making it all foolproof, and you're maintaining a stable process effectively.
That's right, exactly.
Thank you, William. Lindsay, back to you in the studio.
Oh, Mac, have you recovered yet?
Just about.
Long week.
Just about. Now, don't forget, if you do want to watch any of our previous Mac videos, then you can subscribe to the channel, and there's going to be so many for you to watch. Now, okay, next up, you've got an Australian, you founded in Australia, but you've got a bit of a tagline, haven't you? You know, you came to market first. What's this all about?
One of the things that we really try and do is work closely with our customers. So they're a good source of information for innovative products for us. So we work hand in glove with them. But one of the things we really do is try and push to be first in the market with any new technology, because we know it's always going to benefit the customer in the end.
Is that difficult though?
No, it's part of our DNA. Like, it's really in everything we do every day. We really try and push to have customised solutions or really innovative solutions to benefit the customer where possible.
Like, I know we talked about automation before we threw to Mac, but the RFID, is that first?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It was, again, driven from a customer inquiry and a customer's request, and we designed a package around him. The RFID is a fantastic bit of kit in terms of small to medium.
What is the benefit? What's the benefit of that?
Because you can load a carousel of tools or a pallet of tools for either manufacturing or for regrinding, and let the machine do it. You input the data, it's stored on a chip, that is then read by the machine itself, and it loads the collet depending on the size of the tool. It then loads the program into the CNC, so the operator just have very little involvement apart from taking the finished tools out at the end.
Mm-hmm. Very good. In terms of the UK market, do you see it growing? Are more people going to buy CNC cutter grinders? Are more people going to manufacture and reclaim worn tooling?
I think so. I mean, it's proven it from last year. I mean, last year was a very good year for us, and a lot of our machines, I would say 95% of our machines that were sold had some form of automation. So yeah, I can't see that changing.
What are your main industries?
Aerospace, automotive, tool manufacturers, woodworking,
Oh, really?
medical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Any new ones? Any new adopters to this technology, or does it tend to be, yes, I'll have another one?
There is a bit of that, but there are people that will understand and appreciate. Buying tools is never an easy thing, and it's not a cheap thing either. But they also want to design their own. They've come up with better ways of producing a component and want to do it in-house.
I've got a question for you, Joe. You're the one who went out and saw their customers. What did you think? What were your thoughts? Because, of course, when we watched the videos, it's literally a sales tool for you because, as you said, the guys love the machine. So, your thoughts?
To be fair, two of the easiest videos I've ever done. They genuinely did like your product, they like your support, like Adrian, which is probably quite
You're
rare.
just like, oh.
But yeah, no, honestly, both Renishaw and NDS are over the moon with what they've done, and I think they'll probably buy more, won't they?
Yeah.
Both companies.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to Technical Corner in a minute, but before then, what's new? What's trending in CNC cutter grinding?
The main trend we're seeing from all our customers is a real demand for automation to drive down the cost of manufacturing. So some of the initiatives we've done recently are in-process laser gauging of the machine. We have robotics inside the machine, the RFID systems for offline setting up of the machine. All of these create a really automated process for our customers.
And what's the reason for that?
It's the cost of manufacture. Across the globe at the moment, we see that the cost of manufacturing of tooling is increasing. So to decrease that cost, we need to increase the uptime of our machines and decrease the amount of setup time required by the operators.
Sure, it's a good point. People talk about losing work to the Far East, which is actually coming back, it's being reshored. But people complain about the labour costs of the Far East. Really, that's such a small part of the process, the financial process. It's down to their level of automation, isn't it?
Yeah, and we see manufacturers in really high cost countries like Switzerland who are keeping manufacturing in those countries by increasing the amount of automation to drive the cost down.
It's future-proofing, though, really. That's what you're doing to future-proof your company and your business.
That's right.
And when you talk about automation, like you say, it's not just a robot, is it? It's everything within that machining process, grinding process.
It's the whole chain of events that have to occur to get the tools manufactured to the manufacturing of the pieces as well. So if we can increase the amount of automation across that, we just drive down the costs for our customers.
And that even goes into the software aspect as well, with our management suite. So every customer now can basically monitor every machine, sees what tools are being ground, it knows what wheel packs are on each machine, it knows what programs are going on each machine.
Yeah, that information is money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, that information is time, and you can control it. Your whole company so much better, can't you?
Yeah, reduce the errors or potential.
Yeah, and one of the things is IoT or Internet of Things is such a buzzword at the moment, but we've actually got products that we're using currently in the market, and our customers are using them to maintain the uptime of their machines already.
Now, I want to find out a little bit more about your machines. So, Tom, I think you're going to head over to Technical Corner and get quizzed on some of your machines in just a moment. So good luck.
Technical Corner.
Thanks, Lindsay. Tom, welcome to Technical Corner.
Lovely to be here, Gio.
I know you've just recently launched 2 new machines. Can you tell me about the Anker FCP4 and what the name stands for?
So the Anker FCP4 is a commodity drill producing machine, and FCP4 stands for fluting, clearance and pointing. So it does all the operations needed for a complete drill, and it's the 4 because it goes up to 4 millimetres.
What's the smallest diameter it can produce?
0.8, so it can do a range from 0.8 millimetres to 4.
And this machine, how many drills can it produce an hour?
Well, it's a tough question, but it actually can produce a drill every 20 to 25 seconds. So if you do the math, that's a lot of drills per hour.
It's multi-spindle, so how does this work? And it's fully automated. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the machine has 4 turrets, a loading turret, a fluting turret, a relieving turret and a pointing turret. So it actually moves the drill through the 4 operations in the one machine. Yeah.
So it's a single operation effectively. So how would these drills, how would they have been produced before?
Yeah, so traditionally commodity drill manufacture has been done on cam-driven machines, and this is done as a work in process. You'd have a machine for fluting, a machine for relieving and a machine for pointing. We've combined all these operations into one machine, so load it up and go.
So you're saving on floor space, on machines, and it's just more productive.
Absolutely. So one of the main benefits is the floor space saving, but also the machine setup. Instead of setting up 3 separate machines for 3 operations, we're setting up one machine.
No, that makes perfect sense. Now, with it being a multi-spindle, how easy is it to program, and what kind of geometries can you program?
So since it's a machine for commodity drill production, it's limited in its programmability, but we can do things like define the flute shape with the inbuilt wheel dresser for the fluting wheels. So we can actually define a flute shape from the fluting wheel and have that dressed inside the machine.
Tom, is this machine unique to Anker?
Absolutely. We defined a problem in the market that for setting up these machines, it'd have to go through multiple machines. Big machines, they take a lot of floor space. They're old, clunky, cam-driven machines. So what we've done is we've combined them all into one unique machine for the burgeoning tool grinding market.
Now, you've also brought out another machine. Now, this machine is the Anker TapX Micro to manufacture taps, high-speed steel and carbide. Can
Absolutely.
you tell me about this machine?
Yeah, so this is the younger brother, the smaller brother to the current Anker TapX machine. And this is a machine that grinds taps from a blank to a fully usable tap in one setup also. So one of the ethoses we've been using at Anker is that we want to try and maximise our customers' uptime on their machines by adding as much automation as possible, but also including a lot of operations into one machine. And as with the FCP4, we've combined all of the operations and all the setups into one machine. So this machine can produce an entire tap in one setup.
What size taps can this machine produce?
So it's called the TapX Micro because it can start at M.8 and go up to M3, so the whole range there.
And do you see a market for this machine?
Absolutely. Last year in 2017, there was 1.5 billion mobile devices produced. So a lot of those devices need a lot of tapped holes, and we're here to help.
And can you explain the wheel pack and what unmanned running you can gain from these wheel packs?
Absolutely. So this machine has a 6-wheel exchanger, which means that you can set up and define 6 different wheel packs for the machine. So not only does the machine actually dress its own wheels on an automated basis, if you want to change between tap types, it's just a matter of changing a wheel pack over.
And the programming, is it conversational and is it easy to program taps?
Absolutely. So the tapping software we use is called iTap, and it's based off our Anker proprietary toolroom software. And it's very easy to use. It's very much drag and drop. It's very icon orientated, and just using parametrics, we can very simply set up a tap in a short period of time.
Now, we touched on unmanned running and programming. So, say for example, now this machine has been designed for high volume production.
Yep.
Now, if you were looking to run lights out, could you and you were looking to manufacture lots of different taps but from the same shank, can this be achieved to run, say, a batch of 100, a batch of 1,000, so on and so forth, and to quantify the amount of taps and the time that will take?
Yeah, so typically taps in this size range are put on a shank of either 3mm, 4mm or 6mm. And one of the beauties of our RoboMate software for automating the loading is that we can actually set up the jobs in certain sequences. So if they're all on the same shank size, we can actually do different batches of tools based on that same shank. It's very easy to set up, and it means that the machine can run small batches, large batches all day.
And just to round up, Tom, it's automated, it's a single setup again, so you're saving on machines. Any other benefits, the technical benefits about this machine
Yeah, so it's built on our MX platform of machine, and customers may know that we've got linear motors on our X and Y axes, and we have linear scales on the X, Y and Z axis. So it's an extremely accurate machine, and it's an extremely robust machine. But because of the linear motors, it requires very little servicing.
Tom, thank you very much for your time. Lindsay, back to the sofa.
Well done. Not everyone succeeds so well.
Gio's a good interviewer.
Okay. So you're opening new offices, right?
We are. We're opening 2 new offices this year. We've got one in Shanghai and one in Wixom. They're both being opened in May this year.
And why? Because that's quite a big deal.
Because we're growing. We're expanding at such a rapid rate that we need to increase our capacity in those markets. And we've grown 40% in the last year.
40.
4-0. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that due to poor years leading up to this year, or
No.
is that just global demand?
We've had increase of about 17% year on year, but this last year is just the manufacturing industry is really going gangbusters.
I'm going to be mean to you now then. So I've got to ask you, sell Anker to us.
I don't think I need to. I think Anker's selling itself.
Oh, I like that. No, that's perfect though. You can see that a 40% increase. That's bonkers.
Shut you up, didn't it?
Yeah, sorry. I'm done. So how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, any of their social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, via our website, or just simply pick up the phone and call us.
And call you. Okay, brilliant. And we'll put all your details on screen. So what happens on a Tuesday now? I think I've just forgotten what happens.
Do we have to say it?
Tool Tip Tuesday.
Tool Tip Tuesday.
What happens on Wednesday?
We take a day off.
Because you're selling so many machines.
Yeah.
You can have the rest you needed. Well, thank you so much for joining us here
appreciate
on the
it.
show. And
Thanks
thank
for
you.
flying over.
Yeah, for flying over. So
Not a problem.
I'm going to give you a gift here. And there seems to be a heavy one there. There's probably a
that's
bottle of
my one,
wine or something in there. So thank you so much. Safe drive home
Thank
and
you.
safe flight home.
Safe flight.
Thanks
yeah.
very much for having us.
Pleasure.
Cheers.